You are on the left right now in America. You are very frustrated. Donald Trump is the president, and I have enough liberal friends to know you just despise this man from the very marrow of your bones. I know that's true. But I'm urging you, you need to find traction. You need to get a grip, because you guys are spinning wildly out of control, completely losing the plot. The things that resonate when you are around your leftist friends are untethered from reality. What is allowed to just run wild, like just wild stallions in the leftist mind about what is happening in America, about the grievous nature of it all. I mean, the hysteria, there's nowhere for the volume to go. It's been spiking 11 post-election, just nonstop. It's frightening for this reason. It's not as though the water-carrying, complicit, complex Democrat media is going to check you. It's not as though Hollywood is going to check you. What entities of society are going to pull you back onto the reservation of sanity? No one. You're just going to drift like a buoy, just further and further and further from the shore. So now if we were conservative, if conservatives were to be doing this, if Hillary Clinton were to have won the election, and conservatives would just be spinning, like Mad Hatters, completely losing all grip and all sense of reality around them. There'd be lots of slapback. There'd be lots of mocking. There'd be lots of belittling. Not so with you guys. Not so. You're just allowed to just fire off firearms in a steel-reinforced echo chamber. But as a service to my fellow Americans, I'm going to let you know what a lot, and when I say a lot, enough to get this guy elected. Think about what's going on. For the longest time, there were a couple of very, very potent issues that the average Joe Sixpack in this country cared about a lot. Those issues were jobs. I'm talking about his grinded out 9-to-5 job. Now, up until Donald Trump hits the scene, every politician just mocks this notion that these jobs could return. They mock it. In fact, there's all kinds of video out there of former president and minions, as far as the eye can see, just mocking middle Americans. And that's who they were mocking. Mocking middle Americans. These factory jobs. These jobs that pay more than $12, $13 an hour where you work with your hands. Maybe some sort of machinery is involved. Preposterous. Those jobs aren't coming back. Going the way of the dodo bird. No, they weren't. No, they weren't. Some of them were. We're in an evolving economy. It's true that technology will cut the knees out from some of these jobs, but not all of them. Some of it was just flat out treasonous economics. Flat out establishment treasonous economics. The left is real quick to notice when, like the one percenters, as they call them, anybody involved in finance, anybody involved in business, when they're all secret handshaking their way to the top, or when they're doing corruption, the left is just barking like a dog on a chain in front of a house. But not so when it's all this politician nonsense, this gaggle in Washington, what the Trump supporters like to call the swamp. See, that's just perfectly fine. That's just business as usual. That's bureaucracy. That's the government. So that's all good. Well, it's not all good, and it certainly wasn't all good for flyover state. So what they're seeing is, here's a fact, there's been a 600% increase in those jobs since Trump has taken the White House. That is real money. That is real bread and butter on real families. So your chicken little sky is falling, oh my gosh, this man tweeted something that offends me. Doesn't matter at all. Won't matter at all. Most of the time, it's just crybaby nonsense anyway. Another very, very important issue to the average American, the average voter last election, was immigration. You can call everything that moves racist. You can paint this in your mind so that you can feign moral outrage however you want. But here's how it boils down to the average American that's paying even slight attention to this. It has nothing to do with skin color, has nothing to do with language you speak, has nothing to do with any of that nonsense that the left distracts you with. It has to do with this fact. It's very simple. You have to come here legally. Legally. It's not complicated. And I know my fellow citizens on the left know it's not complicated. You just don't want to stare down the barrel of the gun of that actual issue. You want to deflect, you want to distract, you want to project, you want to sit yourself up on a tower of your own creation about how you're far-reaching and how you wouldn't dare. You wouldn't dare turn somebody away from a nation. A nation state is nothing more than its borders, its language, its culture. That's just a fact. It doesn't make somebody a racist to pay attention to that. Every nation state on this planet has borders. It's preposterous what the left is selling us. We know it's preposterous. Donald Trump was the very first politician that ever came on the scene, seemed very serious about that issue, spoke like normal people. Normal voters spoke about that issue. And if you don't think illegal immigration is a suck on this economy, if you don't think illegal immigration is a suck on our hospitals and our schools, you are not paying attention. No nation should have to endure this. We have very generous immigration laws. You simply have to obey them. It doesn't make anybody a racist. It doesn't matter how many times the left says it does. It has nothing to do with race, never had anything to do with race. It has to do with laws and obeying laws. And the Kate Steinle decision is a clear example of the fact that the Democrats and the left do not care about American citizens. They do not care about their fellow neighbors, largely because, I'll let you in on a little secret, the left doesn't really like America. The average leftist. I'm not saying that your grandfather who votes Democrat or your mom who votes Democrat or your colleague who votes Democrat won't stand and feel that tingle down their spine when the national anthem runs. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is deep in their bones, they blame America first. If something goes wrong, it's America's fault. If Al-Qaeda attacks something, it's because we provoked them. If they see an American Indian, that's because America sucks. If they see an African American, that's because America sucks. If they see some person hobbling along the street because they have gout, that's because America sucks. Everything to a Democrat or a leftist, especially in 2018, is because America sucks. And that type of stuff calcifies in your mind, and it comes out your mouth, and it comes out in your policies, and people know it. People know it. Can't trust the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party loves America like a wife beater loves his wife. He's going to say he loves his wife with his weirdo barbecue sauce stains all over his shirt. He's in deep 6 cans of Natty Light when he starts beating on her face. I love you, woman. Why are you making me do this? I love you. That's exactly the way the Democrats or the liberals or your leftist brethren and sisters love America. The other thing you guys got to understand is every single time you're howling at the moon about this is not the way a president should handle himself. Tweeting this way, speaking this way, slumming it, not using the Oxford comma. Listen, you blind, dumb, and tone-deaf political animals. That's exactly what's appealing about him. That's exactly what's appealing about him. Look at the stable of conservative hacks that have become before Donald Trump. Checking all the boxes. They're reading off the teleprompter just right. They're cashing their donor checks. They're barking to the constituency one thing and doing another thing. We don't want that politician. Every time Trump tweets something crazy, the average person's like, I like it. Listen to status quo or whatever you're appealing to, which is hilarious as progressives. This plastic banana nonsense in politicians, you don't get it. You don't get it. That's what's appealing about the man. You guys are throwing these rocks as though they're going to break any glass in this house. They only fortify the foundation of the house. You're clueless. It's hilarious to see you guys act this way. You're clueless. All the gripes you make. Sometimes I listen to these boo-hoo videos from liberals who are just like, this guy's falling. What are we going to do? I mean, like just these liberals that are just like addicted to impeachment porn of their own creation. This fantasy fiction that you guys keep rolling around in your mind. This is going to impeach Trump. This is going to impeach Trump. This other made-up nonsense story. This weird middle school locker room book that just came out is going to impeach Trump. You guys have yourself in such a state. Did you think some glorious left-leaning eagle that sees all things right is just going to swoop in, snatch the guy, and just pull him out? All your problems are going to be gone. Even as I say that, that's on some level, you're just secretly hoping for that. Is it the investigation? If it's not the investigation, we're going to turn around tomorrow and say he's insane. And if that doesn't stick, we're going to turn around tomorrow and say he doesn't love his kid. Or we're going to turn around and say he beats dogs. Or you're going to say whatever nonsense you have to say instead of doing business with the fact that he's your president. As implementing policies that he ran on that a lot of us like, you need to do business with that. If you don't like that, cowboy up, present politically different ideas, get the American people to believe in those ideas, get the American people to want that for their future, and then you win elections. But sitting there, greasy-palmed with your weird impeachment porn every day is going to get you nowhere but in a padded room with sedatives. It's not that complicated. Most people just think Trump loves America. I'm not saying he's perfect. Certainly isn't. We don't love everything about him. But it's nice not to have a president who thinks of you last, who thinks of America last, who's apologizing. And you know what I'm saying. Many of you want that. Many of you see America like that, but there's a whole bunch of people in America who don't. They're the same people that were angry that millionaires were crying crocodile tears, cashing their $1 million checks as professional athletes, boo-hooing about how America is not good for them or America doesn't give them a leg up. Meanwhile, the guy grinding it out as a plumber is supposed to choke that jagged pill down. Please, these are the same people I'm telling you about. They exist. Your tactics aren't working. You need to pull your head out of your delusional behind. And you need to come back down, be an adult, get in the game, and offer up different ideas. That's really what it comes down to. If somebody hasn't told you that yet, somebody's not telling you the truth. Take it easy.